If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing.
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? We are waiting for a few more people to join, and then we will start the session. We are waiting for a few of the dignitaries to join. Once they join it, we will start the session. Good evening, all. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this one-week national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and essential AI tools for teachers. This is organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC of St. Thomas College, Palai, in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, the KSHEC. We would like to welcome Professor Dr. Rajan Kurukul, Vice Chairman, Kerala State Higher Education Council, Dr. Rajan Varghese, Member Secretary, Kerala State Higher Education Council, Very Reverend Dr. Joseph Tarathil, Manager, St. Thomas College, Palai, Professor Dr. James John, Principal, St. Thomas College, Palai, Dr. Sriyak Jose, FDP Coordinator, Dr. Thomas V. Matthew, IQAC Coordinator, Reverend Dr. Salvin Kapili Parambil, our Vice Principal, Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA, Marine College, Kuttikalam Autonomous, Dr. Sunil Job, Adjunct Faculty, Marine College, Kuttikalam Autonomous, Chief of Academics as well. Will be a resource person for one of today's FTP. Dr. Suresh Nambudri, Director, SPR Technologies, Pune. He'll be the resource person for one of the coming FTP sessions. And all the FTP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQC coordinators, and all faculty members. About this FTP, this will be a one-week FTP program with live sessions from the timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We expect you to attend on all the days. Now, fees for the LMS access and processing of certificate is rupees 400. All the participants who are paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recordings for all the days, and the provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FTP. If any of you are yet to make the payment, you can make the payment of rupees 400 to the account details I will shortly put in the chat. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. Now, we have shared the LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access detail mails today or later or by tomorrow. If you have any difficulties in transferring the amount due to the bank server error, you can try later or tomorrow early morning by scanning the QR code given in the brochure. If you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can also join the YouTube live session with the link that I gave in the chat earlier, there in the chat. I'll just post it again. Okay, if you have any difficulties with WebEx live session, you can join the YouTube streaming with the link that I've just put in the chat. Now, my name is Sachin Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming to the introductions. First, the Kerala State Higher Education Council. The Kerala State Higher Education Council is the principal higher education policy input provider and trendsetter of the state of Kerala, and it strives to bring about equity and excellence in the higher education sector. The council is an apex level statutory body instituted under the Kerala State Higher Education Council Act 2007 and the Kerala State Higher Education Council Amendment Act 2018 of the State Legislature of Kerala. Perceiving its democratic structure and particularly participatory approach in making decisions, the council is often nominated as a mandated working collective of all the stakeholders of the higher education sector, including academics, administrators, and students. Now, about St. Thomas College, Palai. Founded in 1950, St. Thomas College, Palai has to its credit almost 70 years of distinguished service in the field of higher education in the state of Kerala, sending out many graduates, maximum cum laude, to carve out their destinies in diverse spheres. It's a college located in a semi-urban area, catering to the needs of the college, mainly coming from the rural background. All these years, the college has taken conscious efforts to increase the number of courses. Now the college has 18 undergraduate programs, 15 postgraduate programs, and 10 research departments affiliated to Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam. The college has a total student strength of 2,871 and 115 teaching and 44 non-teaching staff. The college also participated in the NIF ranking, was placed in the 150 to 200 band, Atal ranking, and the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, UBA of MHRD. The college participates in Walk with a Scholar program, Additional Skill Acquisition program, RUSA, etc. Now, under the Paramarsh scheme of UGC, St. Thomas College Palai was selected in 2019 as a mentor college for guiding 5 non-accredited colleges to enable them for NAC accreditation by 2021. Now, before we move on to the welcome speech, if it is possible, could you all turn on your videos for a short period so that we can take the screenshot for documentation purpose? Could you all turn on your videos for a short period? We would like to take a screenshot for documentation purpose. After that, you can turn it off. All right. Now, let's move on to the welcome speech. The welcome speech will be delivered by Professor Dr. James John, who is the principal of St. Thomas College, Palai. Professor Dr. James John is currently the principal of St. Thomas College, Palai in Kerala. He did his master's in history at the MS University of Baroda. He received his PhD from Pondicherry Central University after extensive research in Indo-Portuguese history from various archives and libraries in Portugal, France, Italy, and England. He has visited over 15 countries and has expertise in languages like Portuguese, French, Spanish, and so on. He has many articles in various research journals and popular publications. His monumental work, The Portuguese and Social Culture Changes in Kerala, was published by Routledge, London. He is a former executive member of Xavier Board of Higher Education in India and the former president of Xavier Board South Kerala region. He is at present the Joint Secretary of All Kerala Private College Management Association and an executive member of Kerala Principals Council. He is also the Joint Secretary of the Association of Catholic Historians of India. He has been the principal of the college since 2018. Over to you, sir.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Professor Dr. Rajan Varghese, Member Secretary and the Chairperson of the session. Professor Dr. Rajan Gurikal, the Vice Chairman, the Kerala State Higher Education Council, and the guest of honor of the function. Reverend Dr. Joseph Tadathil, the manager of St. Thomas College, Palai. Dr. Salvin Kapiliparambil and Professor Dr. David Xavier, the vice principals of the college. Dr. Thomas V. Matthew, the IQAC coordinator of the college. Dr. Sirek Jose, the coordinator of this FDP program. Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, Dr. Mendes Jacob, and Dr. Sunil Job, the experts of various technical sessions. Distinguished participants, and my dear faculty members. I'm with you today with immense pride and enthusiasm as we gather for the inauguration of Faculty Development Program on outcome-based education and essential AI tools for teachers. This momentous occasion marks a significant milestone in our commitment to academic excellence and continuous improvement in the educational landscape of our times. Education is a dynamic field constantly evolving to meet the demands of a changing world. Outcome-based education stands as a beacon, guiding us toward a more effective and learner-centric approach. It is not merely a pedagogical shift, rather, it represents a holistic transformation that aligns educational goals with the needs of our students and the expectations of society. It places the learner at the center, encouraging active engagement, critical thinking, and practical application of knowledge. In essence, it is about empowering our students to not only accumulate information, but to apply that knowledge meaningfully in a real world scenario. In the fast-paced world we live in, where technological advancements shape our daily lives, it is imperative that we as educators leverage these innovations to empower our teaching methodologies. Artificial intelligence, with its transformative capabilities, offers a wealth of opportunities to revolutionize how we engage with our students and prepare them for the challenges of the 21st century. As we embark on this journey, let us first acknowledge the immense potential artificial intelligence holds for education. AI tools can personalize learning experiences, adapt to individual student needs, and provide real-time feedback. They can automate administrative tasks, allowing us more time for meaningful interactions with our students. The use of AI in education is not about replacing teachers. It is about augmenting our abilities and creating a more efficient and effective learning environment. Our faculty development program has been meticulously crafted to equip the esteemed faculty members with the tools and methodologies necessary to implement outcome-based education and essential AI tools for teachers effectively. We aim to foster a culture of continuous improvement and innovation in teaching practices. This program is organized by the IQAC of St. Thomas College, Palai in Kerala, in association with Kerala State Higher Education Council and with the technical support and expertise of IPSR Solutions. As many of you know, St. Thomas College is one of the pioneer higher educational institutions of Kerala, established in 1950. It has been selected for CPE status in 2 phases by the UGC. It's a college with NAC A++ grade. It has 18 UG and 15 PG and 10 research departments. The faculty of this college is well known for its academic commitment and research output. It has MOUs with many reputed colleges and other academic and industrial institutions. I'm delighted to welcome you all for the FDP program. It's my privilege and honor to welcome Professor Rajan Gurikal, Vice Chairman of the KSHEC, and he is the former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, to which St. Thomas College is affiliated, and he is also an erudite historian. Currently, he gives direction to the Higher Education Council of Kerala, and he has been kind enough to inaugurate this FDP program. I wholeheartedly welcome Professor Dr. Rajan Gurikal to this function. Dr. Rajan Varghese, the Member Secretary of KSHEC, has been instrumental in organizing this FDP program fruitfully. He is a former Pro-Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, and he has always been a benefactor and supporter of our college. He presides over this function and he has been kind enough to extend all kinds of support for the conduct of this program. May I welcome Dr. Rajan Varghese on behalf of all who are here. Dr. Joseph Tadathul, the manager of our college, is the driving force behind all activities of the college. And on this occasion, we wholeheartedly thank Dr. Joseph Tadathul and also welcome him to this inaugural function. Professor Dr. Davis Xavier and Dr. Salvin Kapili Parambil, they are the vice principals of the college. They give constant support to the college. And Dr. Thomas V. Matthew is the IQSC coordinator of our college, was in the forefront for the organization of this program. And Dr. Suryak Jose, the convener of this program or the coordinator of this program, took a lot of pains to organize this in this particular way it is organized. I welcome all of them to this function, this inaugural function. And as I have already mentioned, this program is conducted in collaboration with IPSR Solutions, and we have the technical experts who conduct or engage the programs or the sessions, various sessions today. Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director of MCA, Marian College, Kuttikanam, and Dr. Sunil Job K.A., the Adjunct Faculty of Marian College, Kuttikanam, and Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, the former CEO of Tata Motors and Product Development Specialist. They will be handling the technical sessions. And I welcome Dr. Mendes Jacob, Dr. Sunil Job K.A., and Dr. Suresh Nambudiri to this august function. We have participants from various parts of India. Faculty members from all over India have registered for this program. I welcome each and every one of you to this function and FDP program. And I wish all of you 6 fruitful evenings of FDP ahead. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.
Thank you very much for that welcome speech. Now we will move on to the inaugural address. We would also like to have over 2,200 registered participants for this FDP. Now we will move on to the inaugural address. The inaugural address by Dr. Rajan Gurukul, who is the Vice Chairman of the KSHEC. Dr. Rajan Gurukul is the former Vice President Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam. Dr. Rajan Gurukul is a leading Indian social scientist, historian, professor, and writer. He has written many books and articles on different topics and has also received awards for his work. Over to you, sir.
Sir, you are on mute. Gurukul sir, you are on mute.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Respected Principal Paul James, Dr. Tadathul, the manager of the college, other authorities of the college, Dr. Mendes, Dr. Nambudiri. I hope Dr. Rajan Varghese is present. I could not see him. Are the participants of hands-on workshop. As you all know, that the outcome-based education as a strategy has made a big coming back. The teachers, trainers have been spreading the false notion that it's an outdated method of assessment and also strategy of teaching, learning, all because it was in 1954, the taxonomy was founded, and then later Anderson, who was a member in the first committee, revised it. Now, people generally forgot about it until recent times. Now it has become necessary for all the teachers to make a proper assessment based on measurable outcomes. It has become indispensable for students as well to know beforehand the expected learning outcomes. Each student, by knowing it well in advance, would be in a position to make a concurrent self-evaluation about the attainment of the expected learning outcomes. Now, this strategy has come back in a shallow, shoddy situation of teaching and learning. Learners never knew that they were to be engaged in learning because they always thought about the examination. And teachers always thought that their responsibility was to prepare students for writing examinations. And examinations, as all of you know, became a mere farce because no examination presented any problem-oriented questions before students. They all tested the ability of students to write essays, short notes, and some fill in the blanks and multiple choices. The questions never required students to engage themselves in serious learning, conscious learning, and there was no specific purpose of examination. If at all there existed one, it was only to understand whether the students were able to recollect certain matters. Therefore, examination meant only the ability of students to memorize things and also recollect them. But that is not learning. Learning is not just remembering. Learning involved systematic understanding conceptually and also procedurally. And then the student should be able to apply what they have understood conceptually, theoretically. And then with this knowledge, they should be able to evaluate things. They should be able to make assessment. And that would involve analytical approach. Students should develop the faculty to analyze and evaluate, which would involve critical thinking, a critical establishment of a relationship with the text, the knowledge text, and then making a serious encounter with it. And that would sometimes lead the students to say that X or Y proposition was wrong. And then the student would sometimes be able to think about the limitations more seriously and make an academic rebuttal of the existing explanations, propositions that would lead the students to the higher level of creativity. There would be a serious engagement of students in the process of production of knowledge. Now, these are the levels involved in the understanding, and the old-time pedagogic experts and also who were good in cognitive science thought about preparing a taxonomy of the process of learning. And I don't want to go into the details. You all know perhaps how this got dismissed as an approach highly behavioralistic and therefore something to be considered redundant. I don't think that this is a behavioralist approach. And Pavlovian kind of behavioralist instructions to animal training has nothing to do with Anderson, not Anderson, Bloom and his team prepared taxonomy. Of course, there is some change in the ordering of it in the latest version that Anderson and his team prepared, some kind of updating of the ordering of the faculties. Now, some scholars used to talk about the convergence of these abilities at the time of learning. No student is experiencing ladder that you postulate. There is no ladder of learning. Learning is an experience that involves understanding conceptually, procedurally, structurally, and then developing analytical faculty and also sometimes creativity. There is no clear ladder-like thing, and therefore the analogy of ladder imposed upon learning was rejected. Another thing was that the development of cognitive power just cannot be associated with the teaching and learning, because the purpose would be to present before the students the knowledge field, and students should engage themselves with the knowledge, and they should develop freely knowledge about the field and then go into the details. So there should not be any mechanical ordering of the learning outcomes, and there should not be any militaristic kind of disciplining about the strategy, and there should not be arbitrary imposition of the objectives of learning before the students, because the field of higher education was understood as a field of freedom of the learners, and the students should therefore be engaged themselves in personalized and self-guided enterprise. Now, these are all fine, but now when you are given the challenge to maximize higher education, or in the popular expression, massification of higher education, now you require a certain template. You cannot expect free learning of a higher order in the case of all learners. Now, since the objective is massification, it's necessary to have certain parameters for assessment, for ensuring that the students have acquired certain competencies which should be properly assessed, and without which what you finally see today, the most shallow, shoddy kind of engaging with information rather than knowledge. You remember information, or you are encouraging students to reduce knowledge to the level of information and then remember that. Now, this has to be given up because learning has been globally recognized as a process of deeper understanding and always involving at the higher level, understanding using higher order cognition. Some modern thinkers used to say that you don't have to depend upon Bloom's taxonomy. You have to think about higher order cognition. The higher order cognition is well covered in Bloom's taxonomy at the two higher levels like critical evaluation and creation. This is what we express in an altogether different nomenclature called higher order cognition. Now, leave all these. It has become necessary for every teacher to decide upon the learning outcomes beforehand and then prepare the courses. Each course designer has to be realistic about the nature of learning outcomes, whether it is a simple one, whether it's a complex one, and what lesson is to be left to students themselves, and where a teacher should deliver scholarly lectures. Now, in various ways, it's a rigorous exercise. A course designing has become a rigorous exercise that will always make a distinction between academically challenging topics and simple, easy aspects, which should be left to students themselves, and the other should be presented with scholarly background. And further, examination should be a continuous process. It's not something mechanically made at the end of a semester and then using the very elementary strategy, using action verbs which have been considered by taxonomies as redundant. For example, action verbs like write or say point out or narrate, and also simple questions like what, where, when, who, and so on. These action verbs won't be able to give any academic challenge to the students. A student should be able to think, and then the question should be taking students beyond the ordinary thinking, but knowledge supported thinking, and then analytical reasoning. And within a short time, given period of time, how students are able to make use of these cognitive abilities and then also make use of the ability to narrate in intelligible language style in a short time. How to summarize ideas, how to logically order them, how to logically organize them if the idea required sequential ordering without making an error over there, proper sequencing of idea. Now, all these in a short time. These multiple tasks should be there in all the questions. The question setting itself then becomes a very important thing. But normally these days, question paper setting is not taken up seriously. You don't find any science of question paper setting involved in the question papers prepared by the universities during the last 30 years or so. These are casually drafted questions. In a way, they cannot be considered as questions because questions should involve a challenge, an academic challenge, an academic problem. And the students should approach the question with all the abilities they have acquired. And then that is assessed. So there should be measurable outcomes in the answers given by the students. So I'm not going into the details. It's in this context we are conducting the hands-on workshop. Now, another important issue is artificial intelligence. Now we teachers and then also our students are provided with a lot of artificial intelligence driven apps, tools, and devices. And also there are sources of knowledge. We are living in the say context of ChatGPT. Although it's going to be inaccessible soon, it's going to be a big business, but it has become important for both teachers and students. For teachers, it's going to be a big challenge. A student capable of paying well, subscribing the very expensive latest version of ChatGPT would be helping a student to prepare essays, prepare notes in a very efficient way. It's not easy for even a very scholarly teacher to recognize whether it is drawn from ChatGPT or whether it is the student's own. Of course, a teacher with close understanding of students' abilities would certainly recognize the fact that the student X or Y wouldn't be in a position to write like this. And then a student is properly assessed. But for that, the teacher should know what ChatGPT, what is artificial intelligence repository means. Now, therefore, it is important that the teacher undergoes workshops like this. Now you have experts before you to deal with it. I don't want to venture upon a field wherein I do not matter. So for the sake of formality, I inaugurate the workshop and already I have used more time than expected. So wishing you all the best. I also thank the resource persons and the organizers for this highly useful enterprise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan Gurkal, for the inaugural address. Now we will move on to the presidential address that will be delivered by Dr. Rajan Verghese, Member Secretary, KSHEC. Dr. Rajan Verghese is a former Pro Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, and has played a key role in the education sector of Kerala. Over to you, sir. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, respected Gurikal sir and Reverend Dr. James John, Principal of the college, and Dr. Mendes Jacob and other resource persons, and large number of teachers attending this faculty development program. At the very outset, I greet you all on behalf of the Kerala State Higher Education Council. So, I'm not going into the details of OBE and AI tools. My point is this training program, this faculty development program is taking place at a very crucial point in the development of higher education in the state. And the St. Thomas College, Palai, has been playing a very leading role in improving the quality of higher education in this part of the country. I had the privilege of visiting the college several times, and they have a very good faculty in the college compared to, or which can be compared with the faculty of several leading higher education institutions in the country. So they have all the academic resources and they have an imaginative leadership to carry forward the task of this modern higher education. About the changes in the system, we used to say that we are going to unfold a new curriculum, especially it's called the 4-year undergraduate program. This is based on the recommendations of several commissions and committees, and several rounds of discussions were held with teachers, with the university authorities, and other experts in the field of higher education. And this new curriculum is actually offering wide choice for the students, for the institutions, and also for the faculty. And we are aware of the problems that are being faced by our colleges or the universities today. There is large scale outflow, or what we call as student migration, from this part of the country to other international centers or foreign countries. So our effort is to put in place a curriculum which can be compared to the curriculum of any leading university in India or abroad. Or we are trying to put in place quality higher education in line with the development at the global level or the development that are taking place at the leading higher education institutions in the country. It offers several possibilities. For example, the new curriculum has a foundation component. Say, actually, this is in line with the UGC specifications or UGC prescriptions regarding credit distribution. This actually provides students the chance to study from different areas apart from their own chosen area, they have the basic training, foundational training in almost all branches of knowledge, which enable them to go further. Similarly, the new curriculum provides different pathways. We speak of major courses and minor courses, and the choice of the student is immense as far as this system is concerned. Similarly, for the first time in the undergraduate program, we are offering a chance for research. The fourth year, you have a pathway which is an optional pathway where students can pursue research at the undergraduate level, which will enable them to go in for PhD directly, or which will enable them to go for the second year of their PG program. So research is being introduced at the undergraduate level. Actually, research has been confined to the universities or some of the recognized research centers. Today, there is going to be a great demand for colleges which offer this 4-year program with this pathway, or namely the honors with a research pathway will be in great demand for the best students. Similarly, it offers the chance to study courses not only from our college but courses from other colleges, or similarly courses from outside the country, or online courses. That permission, that autonomy is given to the institutions and to the student. Similarly, colleges can put forward courses which are unique in nature. We call them as the signature courses. So there is autonomy for the college, there is autonomy for the faculty, there is freedom and flexibility for the student to select courses of their choice. So all these features are enshrined in the new curriculum. And the teaching learning process is closely linked to what we have been discussing is the outcome based education. It is closely linked to OBE, and Mendes Jacob and his team, they have successfully tried to integrate the new technology AI with OBE. And in fact, reports from several colleges, several universities shows that we are in the forefront. Kerala is in the forefront of training our teachers in the art and science of outcome-based education. And the introduction of AI has actually given a qualitative dimension to the teacher training program in this part of the country. We are ahead of, Kerala is actually ahead of all other states in India with regard to the training of our faculty in outcome-based education. And a new dimension has been added with the introduction of AI tools to OBE. And I am not continuing with this idea because you have very learned resource persons. You have Dr. Sunil, Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, all these people, they have been helping the council in a big way in our faculty training program. I wish all success to this program and all success to St. Thomas College, Palai, and Kerala State Higher Education Council is actually soliciting the academic cooperation for the successful implementation of the new curriculum in the state, and also for undertaking various activities connected to this outcome-based education. With these words, I conclude. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajan Burkis, for the presidential address. Now we will move on to the introduction of the FDP. This will be delivered by Dr. Mendes Jacob, who is the professor and director of MCA, Marine College, Kuttikkanam, Autonomous. Now, Dr. Mendes Jacob is an academician and an entrepreneur with 35 plus years of experience and is the former director of School of Applicable Mathematics, MG University. He has served as a resource person for many national and international seminars, conferences, and a number of faculty development programs, including UGC-sponsored refresher courses. His areas of interest include national education policy, outcome-based education, accreditation, etc. He's associated with many educational institutions as chairman, member of various academic bodies. He is also the CEO of IPSA Solution that's Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in the implementation of outcome-based education and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Srijan. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Respected Gurkal sir and Rajan Varghese sir, Vice Chairman and Member Secretary of Kerala State Higher Education Council, Reverend Father Manager of St. Thomas College, Reverend Father James John, the Principal of St. Thomas College, Palai, Vice Principals, IQC Coordinator, and all my faculty colleagues who have joined this FDP from all over India. I extend a warm welcome to all of you. We are actually thrilled to witness an overwhelming response with joining us from across India, representing a diverse range of institutions and backgrounds. This diversity promises rich interactions and insights that will definitely benefit each of us in enhancing our approaches to innovative teaching, learning, and assessment activities that will help the implementation of outcome-based education in a proper way. Our esteemed resource persons bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, not only from the academic scenario, but also from industry and consultancy. Their practical insights, especially from industry interactions, provide a unique perspective on the skill acquired by students during their university education. We anticipate that these insights will significantly contribute to our collective understanding. In keeping with the theme of innovation, our learning management system stands as a testament to the effective use of online platforms for outcome-based education. The platform integrates various features such as workshops for learning and assessment, lesson activities for assured learning, and forums for collaborative engagement. Additionally, tools like Mentimeter and Padlet have been incorporated to further enrich the participants' experience. The forthcoming sections on AI platforms are poised to be transformative for teachers, offering strategies to streamline workload while enhancing the quality of assessments and research work. I am pleased to announce that paid participants will receive a complimentary access to questionpaper.ai, an innovative platform allowing the generation of course outcomes and facilitating the creation of quality assessments and question papers. To ensure a comprehensive learning experience, we have structured the FDP with a balanced approach. Approximately 30% of the topics will be covered through online sections, through live sections, fostering real-time engagement, while the remaining 70% will be delivered through our learning management system. This ensures that participants can learn at their own pace with the tasks and assignments embedded for a hands-on experience. LMS access will be extended for an additional 10 days after the live sections, promoting continued learning flexibility. I'm delighted to acknowledge the support of Kerala State Higher Education Council in promoting online education through platforms like Moodle. The Higher Education Council's backing adds substantial weight to this FDP, and we express our sincere gratitude to Gurkal sir and Rajan Varghese sir for their valued presence and encouragement. I also thank the management of St. Thomas College, especially the Principal, Reverend Dr. James John, and Dr. Thomas Matthew, the IQC Coordinator. Without further delay, I will now share my screen to provide an explanation of the schedules and the learning manual system and the associated task. Sorry. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
So this is the schedule, day-wise schedule from today onwards. We have a technical section on learning domains by Dr. Sunil Chau after this scenario function. Then tomorrow on day 2, we have architecture of OBE and design of outcomes, again by Dr. Sunil Job. And on January 3rd, that is on Friday, that is day 3, mapping of outcomes, calculation of attainment and analytical reports, AI-assisted assessments. That will be handled by me only. And the 4th day, that is on Monday. Actually, Saturday and Sunday, you can do the you can go through the task and assignments on the LMS. Lot of content is available on the learning management system. And Monday, we have a section on underlying threads of OBE, ChatGPT and AI tools by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. And the last day, day 5, we have again ChatGPT and AI tools by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, and another section on OBE for accreditation and useful tools. And finally, we have the feedback and validity function. This is the flow of the FDP. Now I will share the LMS. I will just show you how the learning management system is designed. We'll have a lot of contents available in the learning management system. There is some collaborative forums where there is a doubt clearance forum. There is a research forum, so that you can contribute yourself and you can clear your doubts, so that your peers will respond to your queries there. And every day we'll have the recorded videos, in addition to some other videos available there. We'll be having the task and assignments, and for every task we will have an SOP, so that you can go through that SOP and you can do the task. There will be multiple choice questions available. So every day there will be recorded videos. In addition to that, there will be other reference materials available. Okay, likewise it will go. Then there will be some useful education tools, reference materials available, which includes the OBE manual, templates, how to prepare an OBE manual, how to start your OBE journey in your institution. And if you are experienced faculty members, definitely you'll have some additional tips for implementing OBE in a better way. There will be videos on ChatGPT. There will be videos on prompt engineering. And this is about the learning management system, which will be provided for all the paid participants. And at the end, you can download your certificate from this LMS. Okay, so that's about this FDP schedules, and this will be the flow of the FDP. And I'm winding up now. I extend our sincere gratitude to all the participants who have joined from different parts of India and outside India. And I wish that this will be, all the sections will be fruitful for all of you. And the coming days we'll have more interactions. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bender sir. Thank you for the introduction of the FTP. Now, before we move on to the vote of thanks, please, this is to inform you that we will be having a technical session today on learning domains by Dr. Sunil Job. Okay, so first we will move on to the vote of thanks that will be delivered by Dr. Thomas V. Verghese, IQSC coordinator, St. Thomas College, Palai. Dr. Thomas V. Matthew has been working as an associate professor in the Department of Chemistry of St. Thomas College, Palai. He completed his graduation, post-graduation, and MPhil from Mahatma Gandhi University. He completed his PhD from Mahatma Gandhi University on the topic of functionalized polymers and nanotechnology in 2012. He also has an MBA in Human Resource Management from Pondicherry Central University. His research interests are functionalized polymers, nanochemistry, catalysis, and computational chemistry. To his credit, he has 26 papers in peer-reviewed international journals. He has authored 5 books with national publishers and 10 book chapters with international publishers such as Elsevier and Nova Science publishers. He is currently working in the area of nanotechnology and computational chemistry. Under his guidance, 3 scholars completed their PhD in 2023. 3 scholars are now doing their research under his guidance, under the guidance of Dr. Thomas V. Matthew. He has expertise in handling projects from UGC. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, everyone. respected Rajan Gurukul sir, Chairman, Kerala State Higher Education Council, Dr. Rajan Varghese sir, the Member Secretary of Kerala State Higher Education Council, Very Reverend Dr. Joseph Tarathil, Protosyndicus of Diocese of Palai and Manager of St. Thomas College Palai, Professor Dr. James John, Principal St. Thomas College Palai, Professor Dr. Davis Xavier and Reverend Dr. Sabin Kapili Parvit, our Vice Principals, and Dr. Mendes Joseph sir, and all the esteemed participants. And it is a great honor to propose the vote of thanks to all who have graced this occasion with their presence. I would like to express my profound gratitude to the distinguished chief guest of this function, Professor Dr. Rajan Gurukul, Vice Chairman, Kerala State Higher Education Council, for inaugurating the online faculty development on OBE, and Dr. Rajan Varghese, Member Secretary, Kerala State Higher Education Council, for sharing his insights on outcome-based education. I am happy to express sincere gratitude to Very Reverend Dr. Joseph Tarathil for his valuable presence and blessings. I would like to thank Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director, MC of Marine College Kuttikanam, for his efforts taken in introducing the program, and Dr. Sunil Job, Adjunct Faculty Member of Marine College Kuttikanam, for engaging the technical session. I would also like to thank Professor Dr. James John, Principal of St. Thomas College Palai, for his moral support and guidance. And I extend my sincere gratitude to the members of IPSR family who wholeheartedly supported this event. I'm happy to express my gratefulness to the who are the state development program. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Thomas V. Matthew, for the vote of thanks. Now we will move on to our technical session for today. That will be the topic will be on learning domains. This will be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job, KA, who's the adjunct faculty, Marine College, Kuttikanam Autonomous. Dr. Sunil Job has 30+ years of experience in teaching and 10+ years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He started his career as assistant professor at Carmela Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition and a resource person for the affiliation renewal committee of MG University. An active blogger. He's also an active blogger in cutting edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has published a few articles in national journals and authored a few academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has also served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as the adjunct professor, Marine College, Kuttikanam Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sijin, for your awesome introduction. So I would like to know whether I'm audible, Sijin. Is there any issue with?
Yes, you're audible. You're audible.
Okay. Good evening, all. I think all of you are having a very pleasant evening. So now we start with our technical section for this 7 days faculty development program. So today, as already announced, that we'll be working with that is learning domain with reference to the Bloom's taxonomy. So obviously, in the previous section, in the inaugural section, we had very beautiful lectures by Rajan Gurukul sir as well as Rajan Varghese sir, and I think it has set the stage for our 1 week journey on outcome-based education. So Rajan Gurukul sir has very beautifully given a clear-cut perspective on the Bloom's taxonomy, about how the Bloom's taxonomy has evolved from 1956 from Bloom's taxonomy original level to the 2001 revised version of Anderson, the associate of Benjamin Bloom. and what is the transformation that has been occurred in this taxonomical perspective, and how it is relevant in the present context. A very beautiful insight has been given by Rajan Gurikal sir. As well, Rajan Varghese sir has also given a very detailed account on how significant is Bloom's taxonomy in the evolving scenario of higher education, and how we are pacing with the contemporary changes, and how we are progressing on by equipping the faculty team in meeting the challenges of the disruptive changes which has been happening in the contemporary higher education system. So actually, it was very, very wonderful, thought-provoking, and is really a good stage setter for our program. And Dr. Mendes has very clearly given a detail on how this faculty development program is going to progress. As you said, that about 30% of the learning will happen in the live sections, and really the real life of this program of this workshop lies with the learning management system, where you come across different activities and resources which has been showcased in a very beautiful way, which gives you the real learning in the lines of outcome-based education. And also all these live sections will be showcased there. The videos will be showcased there. So if in any instance, if somebody loses the opportunity to attend the live section, the videos will be available there. So definitely this 1 week, you will be going through all the possibilities of this outcome-based education. And obviously now it is a bit late to start, but still we will try to conclude the technical section on time. As it's said that our these live sections will progress from 7 to 9. And obviously today, I think we will go about 10 to 15 minutes ahead beyond 9, because we are starting only at 8:50. So without much of intro, let me go into my slides. I've got few slides to share with you. So let me share my screen first. I think there is any issue with the connectivity issues, I'm just stopping you and sharing the screen. Okay, Sajjan, now also I have a question to you, whether my screen is okay and my
Yes, visible.
both okay. Okay, so we shall move ahead with the first section. Obviously, this is something in all our FDP series we begin with Bloom's taxonomy, because as Rajan Gurikal sir has said, that there is a lot of talk around that this taxonomy is outdated, but this is the real lifeblood in implementation of outcome-based education, because this Bloom's taxonomy is something very, very important for you in all the phases of outcome-based, the implementation of outcome-based education. So when I say all the phases, I mean that if you want to have a real curriculum in the lines of outcome-based education, definitely the Bloom's taxonomy will be a leading light to set all the outcomes and to identify the curriculum in lines with the outcomes. So in the formulation phases, this Bloom's taxonomy is something very important. And if you want to have a teaching learning environment built around the outcome-based education, they are also this Bloom's taxonomy is something very, very important. Suppose if you want to constructively align all the activities and assessment strategies, both formative and summative assessment, to the outcome, there also you should have a clarity on these Bloom's taxonomy. So that will help you to move around both the lower order and higher order, so as to bring up a link between the lower order and higher order learning. So this could be effectively done in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy. And when you come to the final phase, the third phase, which is the assessment phase, If you want to make the real-time assessment in the lines of outcome-based education, there also Bloom's taxonomy is something very important. So this will span, the Bloom's taxonomy will be spanning the outcome-based education at all the phases of its implementation. So it is that important. And I'm sure that all the faculty members who have been around here will be having a knowledge about Bloom's taxonomy, but still let it be a refresher section so that that will be helpful for you to take a ride through the this outcome-based education. So going to the Bloom's taxonomy, the word itself, it is evident. The first version of this taxonomy was given by Benjamin Bloom, and the revised version, which has come up on 2001, is been given by one of the associate of Benjamin Bloom, named Anderson. So in the Bloom's taxonomy, we will be going with the Anderson's version of Bloom's taxonomy, and it is this version which we are going. There is no much change, only a change in the a small order is there in the original version and the revised version. Okay. And when we say about taxonomy, definitely the taxonomy, the word literally means classification. So what Bloom's taxonomy is all about is that the Bloom's taxonomy is an attempt to classify the learning which is supposed to happen from the simple to complex. So I would rather would like to say that the roadmap of learning, normally learning happens from simple and direct and concrete experiences to most abstract and complex experiences. So this roadmap between the simple to complex or from direct to abstract, this roadmap has been classified into different levels of hierarchy on the basis of the cognitive challenge that these experiences give on the learner. So it is this levels we call as the levels of learning in the Bloom's taxonomy. So without much of intro about this, we'll go to the slides. So obviously, the Bloom's taxonomy is all about learning. So I have just taken one slide for to substantiate what is learning. You can just go and read this, what has been there. Actually, learning is a process. Obviously, learning is a process. When we say it is a process that should lead to some product, and the product is nothing but the change that has been brought about in the learner. So learning is a process that brings about a change. So now wherever there is a learning, there is a change that has happened in the learner. So suppose if you are visualizing a formal learning environment, when a teacher interact with the students, before interaction, definitely the students will be there at an initial level of behavior, definitely initial level of behavior. And after the interaction in the sense after 1 hour of class or something like that, the students will not be there at the initial level of behavior. They will be elevated to a higher level, definitely. If it is not elevated, all the time that and effort that you have spent with the students is a waste. So definitely by your classroom interactions, the students will be elevated to a higher level. So what is the difference between the terminal behavior and the initial behavior? That is the change that you have brought about in that learner. And this change is nothing but we call it as the outcome of that learning process, the outcome of the learning process. So every learning process will be having some change, or we can visualize it in the name of the outcome that has happened through the through that process of learning. And the outcome-based education is nothing but prefixing the outcome that is intended by the learning process first, and streamlining all the activities so that this outcome is met. This is nothing but in a very simple sense, what is outcome-based education? Suppose if you are given a course to handle, a paper to handle before interacting with the students on the lines of that course, the students will be at an initial level of it. And after completing the course, definitely they'll be elevated to a higher level in the lines of that particular course. That difference, that change that you have brought about is nothing but the outcome of that course. So in an outcome-based education scenario, this outcome is prefixed first, and you are streamlining all these activities such that by the end of the course, this outcome is met. That is nothing but the course outcome. And the same thing is happening with the program level. When the students are admitted to a program, they'll be having an initial level, and by the end of the program, when they leave the undergraduate program, after completing the program, they will be elevated to a higher order. So these differences will be showcased as what we could say as a program outcome. This is fixed first, and by the end of the program, this is a strategy which ensures that this program outcome are met. So this is the simplest version or the simplest explanation on what outcome-based education. That is prefixing the outcome first and streamlining all the activities so that the outcome is met. So it is from this statement that I've tried to bring about what is outcome-based education. Now you can continue your reading on the learning is a process of bringing out certain desirable behavioral change. Desirable means something that has been prefixed. That is, the outcomes or something that you are trying to intend to bring about in the students are prefixed, and learning is a process which steers the students so that these outcomes are met. And obviously, there is a confusion which has been going around the teaching community regarding what is the real difference between the outcome and objective. Actually, both is outcome and objective to a greater extent the same. The objectives are future oriented. Objectives are, I would like to put it in this way, objectives are something we are focusing from the point of view of the teacher, the objectives of the objective. And if the same thing is being made measurable from the point of view of the students, we can call it as outcome. That is, the objective made clear from the point of the student's side on the basis of what the students are able to do. So clarifying the objectives from the student part could be very clearly said it as an outcome. So that's the difference. We'll be detailing it in the next class, in the next section, when we are drilling deeper into what is outcome-based education. Now we'll be going with the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, probably in the screen you'll be seeing a gentleman who's been smiling at you. He is nothing but the Benjamin Bloom. And you can just read the statement which has been given by Benjamin Bloom, which I have showcased in the introductory line. What any person in this world can learn. I repeat, what any person in this world can learn. Almost all person can learn. Almost, if there is if the persons are without any special challenges, almost all person can learn if they are provided with appropriate prior and current conditions. Prior and current conditions are the highlight of this statement. And not only that, something encouraging is being hidden there. Everybody can learn. So everybody can learn if you are trying to bring about a clear-cut association between prior and current condition, because the learning is something which has been happening in a continuum. So suppose if you want to generate a learning experiences for today, something is there which is prior to that. It should be important. And a clear-cut connection between the prior and current condition will facilitate learning in its right sense. Suppose if you say that the students are finding a difficulty in learning something, you can confirm that it is because there is no real connection between the prior and current condition of learning. And Bloom's taxonomy will be giving you a guiding light to prefix what is the prior and current conditions, and to establish the link between so that the learning happens in the right way. So now I'm told that the learning is something that brings about a change. Now let me take that term change. That change can happen in 3 domains, 3 areas. What are the 3 areas? The change can happen in how we think, how the learner think. That is, the change can happen in his intellectual ability and skill, because the thinking process is something that steer the intellectual ability and the skills related to that. So learning, the change can happen on how this learner think and act. The skill means act, think and act. Or the change can happen on the basis on the area or what you feel, his emotions, his attitude. So the change can happen in the attitude level, or the change can happen in the way in which he performs some motor skills. So this is the three area of the change. So learning is something that brings about change, and the change can happen in these three areas. So this is what you could see here. The Bloom's taxonomy is you can read here, the Bloom's taxonomy is set of three hierarchical models. Three hierarchical models means that how the change is happening in the way in which you think. That is, the way in which you think can be considered as the cognitive domain. How the change is happening in the cognitive domain. How the change is happening on how you feel and set attitude. How the change is happening in this domain, we can call it as affective domain. And how the change is happening in how you develop some motor skills, like the skills of driving or doing some motor activity, which is being dominated by motor skills. So how the change is been happening, how practices will make it perfect, what are the different levels of perfections, that is psychomotor domain. So how the change happens is in these three domains. And the taxonomy is a classification on the different level of hierarchy on how the change has been happening in these domains. And here in this segment, we'll be focusing more on cognitive domain, because the cognitive changes are brought about through knowledge. Because when we are formulating curriculum, we are focusing on what are the knowledge that is should be imparted through this particular course or program. And the knowledge, just like food to the body, the knowledge is that which brings about the change in the cognitive process, the change in the intellectual abilities and the skills. And the other affective and psychomotor domain will be included into the curriculum as a hidden curriculum. So in the mainstream, we are more focusing on the cognitive domain. So obviously, as I've told in the introductory remark, this is nothing. This is not new to you. Obviously, you are much familiar with the Bloom's taxonomy. So the revised version of Bloom's taxonomy says that you can just see that two arrows going at the both side. Two arrows going up on the both side. And I've told that the learning is something that happens from simple to complex, or from concrete to abstract. This is the roadmap of learning. And this roadmap progresses on the basis of the cognitive challenge that these learning experiences provide to the learner. On the basis of that, you can classify it as different levels. So the learning will be progressing from the simple level of remembering to the complex and abstract level of creating. That is what learning happens in the cognitive domains. And this Anderson and their associate has divided this roadmap from simple to complex at 6 levels of hierarchy. The basic level of learning is, we can say it as remembering. When I say remember, what does it mean? To keep something in memory, that is remembering. So remembering can happen at a memory level of learning. So you can keep something in memory even by knowing about it, or even by cramming without knowing about it. So memory is just the basic. The memory level of learning only demand remembering something. It do not really necessary. It is not necessary that at a memory level the student has really understood the concept. So memory level is something just to recall something which has been stored in that memory. And the next higher level to the memory is that they try to understand the meaning of what they have stored in their memory. So actually, we are associated with the external world through the 5 senses. So whatever stimulus that comes to the individual through the 5 senses will first come and get recorded in the cerebrum as a memory. And by the intellectual process, we try to try to think about those things and try to identify the meaning of what has been stored, what you've seen, what you've felt, what you've heard. You will try to explore the meaning. So that is nothing but by exploration of the meaning, you will be transferred to a higher level of understanding. So the next higher level of learning is understanding what has been happening. You are able to grasp the meaning of what you have sensed through the 5 senses. So it is at this level, understanding level, the concept learning happens. You teach the students theory. You teach the students some principles. You teach the students some procedures. They try to understand it first. So that is understand level of learning. And after understanding what is that, you have to make the learning process into an utilitarian dimension. That is, you have to transfer the learning into some relevant situation, some unfamiliar situations whereby the students are able to apply their learning and to solve the problems that they are confronting in their life or career or whatever situations they are involved in. So that is application. So apply the learned knowledge, whether it is some theory, whether it is some principles, so whatever that they have, whether it is some concepts, what concepts are something abstract. So when they understood the concept, they can apply it in a relevant situation. That is application. So this is something higher than this understanding. So after understanding, what next? They have to apply it to the relevant situations. And what is analysis? I would like to put analysis is a higher order application. That is, when you are dealing with some complex system, you are not applying one piece of knowledge to the system. You are trying to apply multiple knowledge related to the system. For that, what you have to do? You have to break down the system into different component parts and apply the knowledge related to these component parts and try to make associations and to draw about value from that. That is actually what we can call it as analysis. So analysis is an application, a higher order application, which demand breaking of the complex situations into different components and application of the learned knowledge into the different components and try to find out the association between them. So that is what we call it as analysis. And evaluation is something higher order to that. So after analyzing, you will be in a position to judge what is right and what is wrong, or what is that is your own point of view on the basis of set criteria. That is evaluation. So suppose if you want to evaluate something, you have to analyze it first, then only you can have a thorough evaluation. Suppose if you are asked to judge a dance form, obviously a dance form, there will be many participants, right? About 20 or 30 participants may be there. Recently in Kerala, the school festival has just completed. So there, the judges have to evaluate neck-to-neck performance of different participants, which has been participating on top. How do they do? They will be analyzing the performance on the basis of different criteria. They'll be setting different criteria. Criteria number 1, criteria number 2, they'll be analyzing each. So analyzing means breaking the entire dance form into different sub-components, analyzing the performance on the basis of these sub-components, associating it, and then they pass their judgment of their performance. Judgment of the performance on the basis of analysis. So evaluation means judging something, and judgment could be effectively done on the basis of thorough analysis. Only after analysis you can make authentic, I repeat, authentic judgment without any bias. The analysis is something prelude to that. And after analysis, at the top level, what is it? Creating. That is, creating is the higher order. That is, you are going out of the box, creating something to the benefit. So if you want to create, a thorough analysis and evaluation is essential. Obviously, I used to say in most of my sections that suppose if you're going for PhD, normally I could see that this second chapter, what we call it as review of literature, the researchers used to take it very lightly. Normally what we could say is that there is only cutting and pasting without related to the topic. Actually, I would like to say that the most important stage in a research process is review of literature. So only through review of literature, you'll be able to analyze and evaluate what has happened in the area that you are doing research. Only through a proper analysis and evaluation, you will be able to identify what is the gap which is there in the area that you are doing your research. And it is that evaluation will take you further to do something effective, some smart research that will contribute better to the relevant domain. So it is the thorough review of literature that help you to analyze the area of your research and to identify, analyze. You will be feel what is the necessity in your area, which will trigger out your research process into a smart research or into something very effective, a good research work, isn't it? Only through analysis you will sense the necessity, and necessity is the mother of invention. If you want to find something important, that is so. This is how the learning should progress. So this is the different levels of learning. The learning will begin from the simplest and the simplest and the concrete level, where you try to memorize the thing to contribute something that is to the research level. That is how the learning should progress. So in the consequent slides, we'll be trying to put this concept into a little granular level into our subject. Let us. So here, I've just added one more sentence. Learning is a process engineered in such a way that one level is a prerequisite of other, and the learning happens in a continuum. This is something very beautiful. That is why I say that learning is something which happens from simple to complex. Because if you want to understand something, some stimulus should come to your brain and should get recorded. Then only the thinking process will start accelerating. Only through the thinking process you will come to the understanding level. Only by a thorough understanding of the concept you will be able to apply it. So understanding is a prerequisite for application. And if you want to analyze something, you have to apply your knowledge in different relevant situations. Then only you can analyze and find out associations. So applying is important in analysis. And only by thorough analysis, you will be able to evaluate it. And only through thorough evaluation, you'll be able to identify the shortcomings, which will lead you to some creative level. So this is how the learning should progress. This is the hierarchy. This is the roadmap between simple to abstract and complex. So this is how the learning should progress. So now this is an attempt to bring it down to an assessment level. How to identify these levels in your assessment process. So I have dissected the slide into three. One, these are the skills which happen in the learner at each level. These are the verbs that may help you. Verbs means only something that help you to formulate questions. And these questions, these verbs will also helpful for formulating outcomes also. So these are the verbs which help you to formulate questions at this level. And these are some sample questions which I have included. So you can read. What will happen in the learner at remembering level? Obviously, remembering means keeping something in the memory. When something has come in the memory, the learner's automatic response will be to recall it. Recall it. Recall can happen either by knowing the meaning or without knowing the by knowing the meaning or without knowing the meaning. You can recall something by cramming something. So knowledge of the event, date, place, even without knowing what is the event, you can just understand. You can just remember the name of that event or the date or some place or something like that. So this is what is happening in the students, the cognitive process which has been happening in the students, which could be, which you can visualize it through some demonstrated skills. And these are the verbs, list, define, etc. And these are the questions. Suppose if I ask the question, list the various domains of Bloom's taxonomy. I just ask only to list. I want you to remember the name of the different domain. Obviously, you will say, okay, OBE. Okay, cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain. You will be answering it like this. Because for cognitive domain, I have just given you detailed about what is cognitive domain. I didn't say anything about affective domain. I didn't say that affective domain, the learner progresses through receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. I didn't say anything about that, but still you answered. I didn't say anything about psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain, the learning happens like imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, naturalization. I didn't say anything about that, but still you answered and you got that full credit. So this only emphasizes that you should remember. You should keep these names in the memory. So even if you are a PhD in Bloom's taxonomy, this question, list various domain in Bloom's taxonomy, only demand the remembering that name of the domain. Obviously, define multiculturalism. I've taken a word from here, define multiculturalism. So here, what does this question demand? The students are asked to write some statement which has been given by some sociologists regarding multiculturalism. I've seen teachers who are not giving marks for using different words in the definition. Different words and alternative words, if they use in the definition, they are not giving mark because this is the word that the particular person has said. Reducing mark. Even I've seen that this is the definition. They have to put it in quotes. They are not put it in quotes. So we have to get a reduced mark. I've seen it like that. So this is they are testing the students against the power of memorizing something, controlling them to the memory level. So if I ask, list the key components of GST, without knowing what are the different components, they could say that, okay, that central GST, state GST, or this integrated GST, or unitary GST, or says like that. You can mention about that. Or if I say that abbreviate GST, okay, goods and service tax, if they right, I will be giving credit even without knowing what is GST. So these are the questions that is coming under this level of memory. Going to the higher level, understanding. Understanding means what is happening in that learner. They are beyond memorization. They try to understand information, grasp meaning. When they grasp meaning, they can translate this into their own words. They can translate it in their own words. Why? How can they translate it? Because they understood what is meant, what is embedded, what is embedded in that concept, what that concept means, what is abstraction in that concept. They understood. They can explain it like that. So these are the verbs that help you to frame questions at this level. That is describe, explain, paraphrase, etc., etc., etc. So the same question, before I ask to list various domains, I will reframe it as explain the various levels of learning in cognitive domain. So now what the learner want to do? The learner want to explain it, the different levels, what has been happening in the different levels. So he'll be able to explain it well only when he understand what is happening in the cognitive domain. So that is testing the student with understanding level. What is the next one? Restate multiculturalism in your own words. So you are given freedom to the students to write what is multiculturalism in their own words. So you are not restricting them to cram something said by some other persons without without making any change in the format or sentence that they have said. But here, restate it. So they will be able to restate it in their own words only when they have understood it. Suppose if they say that multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad, right? Very good answer, isn't it? Because what is the specialty of fruit salad? Different fruits are existing in its own identity, clubbed with the cream. Suppose if we say our India is a multicultural country. Different cultures are there, embedded by the cream of nationalism. If they're able to explain it like that, that means they have understood it. Or suppose if I say, summarize the process of computing GST for a given transaction. So here, they are not only listing the different components, they are summarizing how to calculate GST, like determining what is the type of transaction, whether it is an interstate transaction or intrastate transaction, or identify the GST components and determine the value, the tax value, then applying that rates and calculating, and then so this, if they're summarizing it in the right way, that means they know how to calculate GST. So understanding, they have an understanding about that concept. So obviously next level is applying. Applying means obviously it is a transferring of knowledge. Transferring of knowledge into some unfamiliar situations whereby you try to solve it. That is applying. Applying means you want the students to apply their knowledge in some relevant situations and to find the solutions. So that is application. So use methods, concept, law, theories in new situation. New situation, that is, you are bringing a utilitarian level, a practical level, utilitarian level to the learning by applying that learn to some significant area which is related to. So you can use these verbs, calculate, predict, apply, solve. These are the some verbs. All these verbs are available in the LMS, and also if it is available in the net also, you can submit and identify. So this will help you to understand more. So before I ask this is the first question, I am taking it in the lines of Bloom's taxonomy because we have discussed about Bloom's taxonomy, right? So first question I asked list. Second question I asked to explain. The third question I am asking to frame few questions related to each domain in your subject. So what is that I have asked it? I want to apply Bloom's taxonomy to your subject and frame questions at different levels. So I want to apply. Apply means I want to transfer the learning of Bloom's taxonomy to the subject that you're handling, and I want you to prepare 2 questions from application level or analytical level or understanding level. So what is happened there? You are transferring the learning of Bloom's taxonomy to your subject and preparing questions from there. So this is the real application, applying. Okay, so likewise, illustrate few multiculturalism practices in your education institution. So what you have to do, you have to transfer the learning of multiculturalism, and you have to illustrate some practices on the basis of the transfer. The third one, GST. Before they summarized, now you are asked to calculate GST with a specific example. So you are given with the situations, and in the situations you are to calculate the GST by applying the knowledge of GST that you have acquired it. So applying and you are calculating GST in its real sense. So analyzing, we know that we'll go a little fast because its time is going up. So analyzing, can you see my slide?
Now the slide has changed. You have gone to a different. You've gone to the WebEx screen.
I think.
Just click on the tab where your slide was. Go to that tab.
Sorry,
cancel.
Let me stop sharing and I will start sharing. There are some issues. Okay. Okay, my sharing has stopped. That is why. Sorry. Okay. The problem is that the sharing got stopped. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Sijin, is it okay now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sorry that my screen sharing has got stopped automatically. Sorry for the interruptions. So the next level is analyzing. Obviously, we know that analyzing means you are dealing with a complex situation. How can you deal with the complex situations? You have to break down a complex situations into component parts, apply your learning into this part, and to find out association. That is what analyze means. Breaking a complex into parts and identify relationship between these parts. Isn't it? For example, I will just give you another example. Suppose if you are able to compare, the 2 mobile phones, simple example, how will you do that? Isn't it? 2 mobile phones, a phone by Samsung and a phone by an iPhone. If you want to give a comparison, an iPhone 15, and you're comparing it with the Samsung's latest. Suppose you ask to compare. So how will you do that? You will be not breaking the phone. You will be breaking it on the basis of different criteria. What is the cost? Okay, so one segment cost, you will be comparing it with respect to the cost. Then you will be considering another segment, another component about the battery life. Then about the different functions which has been available. About the pixel, likewise, you'll be dividing it into different components. That is breaking the system into different components, and then you will be trying to make some associations and comparisons. So what is actually happening? The analysis. The example which I've told, the different parts you are asked to analyze, judge before evaluating two dance forms. You have to break down into different criteria and then analyze. Or suppose if you are given the students to analyze which is salt analysis. What really happens is that you will be taking a component and of salt, then you will be doing some test, brown ring test or something like that. The different tests you will be identifying and doing that, and you will be consolidating it together and identifying which is the salt. Or in PhD, you are doing analysis. How we are doing analysis? You will be analyzing it with respect to some objectives. You will take one objectives. You will be subdividing that objectives into different parameters, and with respect to each parameters, you will be analyzing it, and then you will be associating it together to find answer analysis. This is analysis. Taking a complex different parts and then applying your learning, then trying to find the associations. Analysis. So here, categorize. When I go to Bloom's taxonomy, what where we before I ask, apply Bloom's taxonomy and prepare question. Now what does this question implies? That is, categorize each given question into various levels of cognitive domain. That is, now the question has been given to you. Question has been given to you, and I asked you to analyze this question and to identify which level this question belongs to. So what is the procedure which has been happening? You'll be taking one question, you will be dividing it into different criterias, which is the first criteria, whether it is addressing the first level, the best, or second level, the third level, the fourth level, the sixth level. Which level does this question addresses the best? You will be dividing it into this 6, and you will be testing that question with respect to these levels, and you'll be identifying that, okay, this is the level that this question identifies. This addresses the best. So here you are analyzing the question with respect to the different levels. Okay, so compare the approaches of multiculturalism, multicultural practice of two countries. So you are given with multiculturalism, and you are asked to identify the practices of multiculturalism with respect to the different countries. So, okay, you can identify the two countries. Okay, what is the form of government? What is the state of economy? What is the freedom that they give to the citizens, like that? Different components, and you can make comparisons. So these are the verbs that can help you to identify, classify, outline, categorize it, different questions with respect to which taxonomy, analyze, compare, all these things you can. So all these verbs are not mutually exclusive. The same thing you can use a different level. For example, identify. If you given a salt and ask the students to identify, you will be identifying it by doing a different analysis. So analysis, by means of analysis, you can identify. If you are asking a small student to identify between apple and orange, by understanding the concept, you will be able to identify. So that identification is a concept level identification, which will at the K2 level, understanding level. The salt analysis or doing some experiment is something is happening at a higher level. That is an analytical level. So another example, this one. Compare and contrast GST and VAT. Okay, so now you are going to compare it with the this tax system, isn't it? So value-added tax, as you are comparing it with our this GST. So here in this this goods and service tax has been compared with value added tax. So in this comparisons, you can set different criteria and you can make the comparisons. Now evaluation. Normally when we say compare, analysis and evaluation, they come very close to each other. Very close in the sense only by a thorough analysis. Evaluation means final judgment, passing the final judgment after evaluation. Judgment after evaluation. That is the evaluation. So, after a thorough analysis, you can evaluate it on the basis of some set criteria. You will be having some set criteria and you are evaluating it. So, for evaluating also, you need compare and discriminate between ideas, access the values. So, make choice reason like that. So, these are the cognitive skills which has been happening under this evaluation process. So these are the different verbs that may help you for evaluation. Assess, decide, choose, rank. Rank, obviously, you'll be familiar with the NIR of ranking. What is NIR of ranking? Judging which institution is best in India. So how it has been happening? Every year, you are submitting your credentials to this NIRF portal, isn't it? Your SSR report, your progress, your credentials, how you're performing. So what that NIRF, the Human Resource Ministry, the NIRF do is that they will be analyzing the performance of each college who have submitted their SSR on the basis of different criteria. They'll be giving score of their performance and they'll be evaluating their performance. And evaluating means on the basis of analysis, they'll be ranking. The process of ranking is evaluation. The process of analysis will give you, after analyzing, you will be giving some quantitative scores for each criteria. On the basis of these quantitative scores, you are ranking them. Ranking means judging which is the best. So ranking them. So analysis and then ranking them on the basis of their performance. So you will know that that Miranda College of Delhi is sustaining their credibility as the best college, or engineering college, IIT Madras, like that. So that's ranking means evaluating the performance. So now with respect to Bloom's taxonomy, we had questions from right from the first level, means name or list, then explain, then make questions, then analyze each question into. Now I am asking, do you think you can prepare questions of all levels of Bloom's taxonomy in your subject? Justify something very important. How can you justify? You will be able to justify only if you know thoroughly what is Bloom's taxonomy. You try to apply it in your learning area, and you are trying to identify its pros and cons. Then only you will be able to come up with this answer, whether it is perfect for your subject. Suppose if you say, sir, okay, the Bloom's taxonomy may be good for the other domain, other disciplines, but for my discipline, the Bloom's taxonomy is not answering such and such. I am not able to prepare questions at this level. So you have pointed out that there is a gap or shortcomings or drawback or some demerits or deficiency in Bloom's taxonomy. So you are identified it only at that level, isn't it? Then okay, evaluate. Likewise, evaluate which tax, GST or VAT, you believe better. So after analyzing GST and VAT, on the basis of some criteria, you say that this is good. The GST has got this merit, VAT has got this merit, GST has got these demerits. You have evaluated, you have identified merits and demerits. So this is something, a higher order question. So if you are just asking, what is this, what is that, it is only a lower order. If you are asking the questions at a higher order, if you want to answer this question, you should know what is this, what is that. You have to have a functional knowledge, you have to apply it, and you have to identify all the pros and cons. Then only you will be able to answer this question. So this is a very higher order question. But the thing is that if you're giving the answer to the of these questions in advance and ask them to evaluate, the students are not evaluating of their own. They are not put to a test. Their cognitive challenge is not put to a test for evaluation, because they have already taken the evaluation statement which is being given by the teacher or some other guidebooks, and they're learning it by heart and they're reproducing it. It is only an lower order learning. So if you are going with a higher order thing, don't give the things in advance. Then only if the students are put to a test to evaluate by themselves, then only this will come to that level of level of cognitive challenge that this evaluation level demand. Otherwise, it will be only simple, just like learning a concept, learning these things. It will be just like that. If I say that I am going to give you a surprise test tomorrow, it will be just like. If I say that I am going to give you a surprise test tomorrow, what is the surprise in that? Tomorrow you'll be having a test. It will be just like that. The evaluation questions, if you are giving in advance, are they evaluating? They are just cramming it and writing. You are killing that possibility of evaluation in the students. So that is for higher order questions. There should not be preset answers. The students have to work. Then only their creative potentials will come to the higher level. Then only, otherwise they will be only confused graduates. They will not go further higher. And creating means the top level. Creating means the top level. Top level means they are contributing something new to. You can just see here the analysis and creating is a somewhat synthesis. So what is analysis? Analysis is breaking a problem into different component parts, applying the knowledge of the component parts, and to find out associations. I have asked to test compare between two mobile phones. What did you do? You have divided it into different components. What is the price factor? What is the what is the battery life? What is the camera pixel like? That different criteria you have divided, and then you try to analyze it for comparison. And here, what is it? You are integrating your knowledge to contribute something new. That is creation. So if you want to create something, you should have that background knowledge. And then you should have a thorough analysis about the system, and you have to apply the background knowledge to answer the problems that you are trying to answer. So something new will come. So old, new, use old ideas. Old ideas means the ideas which is already there, you have acquired to create something new. Combine parts to make the whole, like that. So these are some of the verbs that help you to formulate question. Design a new system. Suppose if I ask to write a program, that is apply the syntax and write a program, isn't it? Suppose if I ask to bug fix a problem, some error has happened, you have to analyze the program and then only you can bug fix. Suppose if I ask to develop a new ERP or system as a whole, so you have to design it, and then so that is creating something. So this is how the learning progresses. So creating a new model of classification, because before in the previous slide you told that your Bloom's taxonomy is not, you evaluated it and said that it is not sufficient to answer my all the questions in my discipline. So what is next? Go ahead and prepare a new model. That is how the creation should happen. So now you have identified some merits of VAT, some merits of GST, some demerits of VAT, and some demerits of GST. So what is next? Identifying the merits of VAT, identifying the merits of GST, develop a new taxation model which is more better than that. That is how the learning should progress. The creativity should happen. So this is how. So this, I think, this is something that teachers should keep it in mind, so that they'll be able to steer that learning process in the right way. So obviously now we know that when we are going with the new educational policy, it gives autonomy to that institutions, autonomy to the students, autonomy to the teachers. Autonomy to the students means they are they are given freedom to choose their learning path. They are whether to go with the multiple entry or exit. They are given freedom. Autonomy is there for teachers, for institutions. So when, and obviously by 2030, most of the institutions will come to an autonomous status, either independently or as a cluster. So they can formulate, they can have their policies regarding their assessment system. So I would like to tell you something, that if you want to enhance the quality of your college or educational system, the simplest way is to enhance the quality of the assessment. The quality of the assessment is not to make the questions complicated. That is, it only means that enhance the level of the questions from lower order to higher order. That do not mean that don't misunderstand that you should not include lower order. Lower order questions should be there, but not all the questions should not be a lower order. About 40 to 50% of the questions should be from lower order questions, and also 50% from higher order questions. So if you're posing it in such a way that higher order questions get ample representation in your curriculum or in your system, definitely the students are bound to reach that level. And when the students are bound to reach the higher order, they'll be passing out of the institution as very productive and creative citizens. So that will contribute to the worth of the college and worth of the education institutions. Now we know that in an outcome-based education, the quality of the institution is being judged not on input, what you give in the way of building or something like that. It is important, but on the basis of what the students are, what is the output of your college. That is, whether the students are getting placements, whether they are coming better citizens of the country, whether they are coming in assets of the country, like that. It is judged on the basis of that. So this is the transformation that is going to happen. Because the time is limited, I'm restricting my words. I'm just giving because this is outcome-based education. I want you to answer and give this answer. Let us say that the knowledge level, remembering level K1, understanding level K2, application level K3, analyzing level K4, evaluating K5, and creating K6. So what level is this? You can put it in chat. I'm just I've just logged in through one of my mobile so that I can read. What level is this? You can put it in chat. The student learns from notes. Learning from notes. What? The answer to the question: analyze the motives of the speech of Mark Antony. Analyze the motives of speech by Mark Antony in Shakespearean play Julius Caesar. Obviously, this is a very famous area. Analyzing is something. But what is the situation there? The students are learning from notes, isn't it? So the question is an analytical level question, but you have given notes to the students, so they learn. The students are learning from the notes, but they can write it by heart. But there is something, they have given a perfect answer to this question, isn't it? By learning it, they have tried to put some contribution, wrote something in a better way. So it could be a K2. It could be a K2. Okay, a lot of answers are coming. Very good. Find the volume of the cube when one of the side is known. I'm not going and taking some higher order. This is something common to all. Cube we know. The volume is side into side into side. So what will be the level if you give this question? What will be this level? Obviously, there is a confusion which has been happening. Whenever we say some calculation is involved, we say that it is application level. Is it an application level? You can just think. Side into side into side. You know. Sometimes you have memorized it, or you understood that. Okay, side into side into side. And instead of writing side, you are writing. Suppose if I say that side is 10 centimeter or 10 units, then you will say that it is 1000. 10 into 10 into 10. So here you are just substituting the value only. Instead of you are substituting the value. So it is just a memory level or a understanding level. Because application is something transferring the knowledge to some unfamiliar situation, underline unfamiliar situation. Suppose if you are asked to say that what will the time taken to fill a cubical tank? Water is flowing in a cubical tank. What time taken to fill the cubical tank? If this much of liter is coming every 5 minutes. For that, if you want to answer that, you want to apply the learning there. Cubical tank, volume, every 5 minutes, this much is getting filled. So how much time will it take? That is an application question, isn't it? So that is an application question. Some create level is coming. Okay, that is an application question. But this is, if I say that cubicle tank, that is an application question. This is only the substitution. So mere substitution in the well-known formula is only an understanding or even an memory level question. So transferring the knowledge to some unfamiliar situation, make it application. This one. Okay, the student is asked to conduct an experiment or salt analysis and examine the result. Is it analysis, salt analysis? Okay, so you are giving the students an experiment. The students are doing it. They are noting out their points. They are analyzing it. So this is nothing but K4 level. This is nothing but K4 level. Debate the pros and cons of net banking. Pros and cons. Merits and demerits. Pros and cons of net banking. Pros and cons of net banking. Pros and cons. Merits and demerits. If you want to say pros and cons, you should understand everything about net banking, and you are passing your judgment. Yes, it is K5 level. It is K5 level. Match the following invention with inventors. Suppose if I say invention and inventor, or book and author. Okay, suppose if I say Macbeth, who wrote Macbeth? They can say that, okay, Shakespeare. Without even reading Macbeth, they can answer. Without even knowing what is the invention in detail, they can connect it. Matching. So it is only K1 level. And create a new model. This you don't have to answer. We know that it is K6. It is a K6 level. And we have got a task which is showcased in that LMS. A task is there which is showcased in that LMS. The task is nothing but you can. This is an automated Excel sheet which has been created by me, and it is there in that LMS. You can download it there. And how to download it, how to answer it, and how to upload it. It is given in a small video with that. SOP, standard operation procedure video is there. So together with every task, there is a video. So you can go through that video and you can identify how you can work with this. And I will just explain the task. This is a question paper analysis task. You can just write the name of the program name, course name. Suppose if it is Introduction to Computer, the course name, BCA, then year, semester. You can add the basic information regarding the question paper. And this is the area where you could answer. In the left side, there is a sheet like this. Probably if your question paper has got different sections. Section A, you can take it like this. Section A, a downward list is there. And section A is a remembering question. If you want to take it as an understanding question, it is of 2 marks. Second question, read that question. A part question. It is again an understanding. It is again, if you say it as a remembering question, maybe some define or something like that, 2 marks. Likewise, you can select each question. You can identify the section. You can identify which taxonomy that question belongs. Now you are very expert in that. And then you can give that much of marks. So here you will be getting, and this is an automated sheet. Where you will be getting that. Here, okay, the 10% of the questions are remembering questions, 43% understanding questions. You will be getting a graphical representation also regarding that. And also here, any question up to application level is a lower order. Anything beyond application level, analytical, or this evaluation or create level is a higher order questions. And the thing is that you cannot bring a higher order create level question into your answer paper, because you cannot ask the students to create a new GST model, a new model of taxation in that examination all of 2 hours or 3 hours. Or you cannot ask the students to create a new learning model. Because only up to analytical or evaluation level, you can include it in your question paper. Create level, if you're putting a create level, how can you put a scheme of evaluation? Creating is their own. These, in order to incorporate create level questions, we are including projects, assignments, etc. as activities that could be included in the create level. So you can just include up to analytical or evaluation questions. So what percentage of questions here? We got 24% of questions is from higher order and 76%. And after doing that, you can write your evaluation regarding that question paper. What is the question paper? Whether the question paper is a very good question paper or whether the question paper needs an improvement, like that. So you can take any question paper on the subject that you are handling, any university question paper on the subject that you are answering, and you can do this task. So the objective of the task is two things. One, I want you to identify the learning level of each questions on the lines of our explanation today, on the lines of Bloom's taxonomy. Second, I want you to have a cautiousness regarding how was your evaluation system that you are handling before, and whether there is a need to change the evaluation system. So this is what is included in this first section. So obviously we went about, what is the time? 15 minutes ahead, because we started later. That's all. Over to you, Sejan. If there is any questions to be answered, that you can take the questions.
No, there are no specific questions to you as such as of now. If anyone would like to ask any question to Dr. Sunil Job, you can place it in the chat and we will take it now. Those people who are asking for access to LMS access, please make the payment to the details that I've put in the chat. And if you have any issues regarding the after doing that, if you have any problems accessing the LMS, please contact the numbers that I've put there in the chat. If you have done the payment today and given the sent the WhatsApp screenshots of WhatsApp today, you will get the access by tomorrow. Yes, you can make the payment tomorrow also.
There is a question that whether there is any rule that all levels need to be included. There is no rule as such. It is the discretion of that academic council how to set the Bloom's taxonomy level. It is all left to you. But it is a good practice to include both higher order as well as lower order for a better question paper. Normally, what we can see that what is this, what is that? Only lower order question comes about 80 to 90%. You can just make some control over that. You can make it 50-50 or something like that, according to the discretion of the your academic council. That is something very important. These questions, the verbs that comes can come in different level. The thing is that the verb do not. That means by reading the question, what cognitive level, what cognitive challenge that question brings in the learner is the ultimate decision on to what level that question is included. That is why I asked, identify an apple and orange. The student can identify an apple and orange by the conceptual idea. They can discriminate it. Identify the salt. The same identify comes in higher order. So the same verbs can come at different levels. There is so the final decision is left to the teachers by including these verbs. These are only a helping hand for framing questions. Okay, any more questions?
No, I think there are no more questions.
Problematic questions will come under which level? Problem solving is normally coming at an application and analytical level. It can come in that way. Does illustration of police exclusion principle? I think it is on physics. Does the illustration of police exclusion principle comes under illustration of the principles? It is only an understanding level. You are illustrating it, explaining it, so making it detailing. It is only this is something related to. I perceive that it is related to some electron or some atoms or something like that. It is only explaining. It is only the understanding level. Do you need to give level 6 for more weightage marks? Obviously, now according to this, Rajan Varghese has said that according to this National Policy 19, this 2020, the graduation level at the higher, at the 4th semester, when you go to honors, we are focusing more on create level. Create level means the research level. So the research level is having that much of prominence in the system of education. But in the paper pencil examinations, create level is not significant, may not be significant for especially the science related subjects. That is why we are going with project. But regarding the arts related subjects, you can include some create level question, but it is always better to keep create level questions excluded in the formal paper pencil test, which has been which in what type of test means in the norm reference test, not criterion reference test. In the norm reference test that we do for this examinations, it is always better to keep it away. Up to, you can include up to evaluation level. Obviously, we have got a lot of material showcased in the LMS. I have written a white paper regarding Bloom's taxonomy system of evaluations. It is available in the LMS. A lot of materials has been, we have prepared it. I've written a lot of materials and it is showcased there. You can have references there.
Please note, everybody, tomorrow we'll have a session on architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. This will be again delivered by Dr. Sunil Job. I think there are no more questions. Again, I think we can end for today. We have too late. I think because our formal section was extended over more than 1 hour. So anyhow, you can go and enjoy the possibilities in the LMS, and tomorrow we shall again meet. We will be going with introduction to outcome-based educations. So I swear that we will have a short section there. I will not take you more than 9. Try to stop earlier. So okay, thank you for your patiently waiting and interacting. I loved it. So thank you all. So we can have a very fruitful FDP ahead. So thank you all. So have a pleasant evening. Good night. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sunil Job, for that wonderful session. We will see you tomorrow with that topic on architecture of OBE and design outcomes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. See you tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m.